Thank you to those who commented on the video. Your comments were excellent. Very much appreciated. I received 3 comments. I'll rank all of them as equal because they bring different points up. This video explains the true magnitude of each comment. It took me a good day or so to actually realize the comments in their entirety. I knew that the video would become the best 8% withdrawal rate to date. I knew it would be controversial. I have more dislikes than likes. Believe it or not, it was quite surprising. My objective is to get financial education to be taught in school from first grade all the way through 12. I'm making this video because the previous one, the predecessor, it supports the why, and the comments help the support. That's the reason why all 3 are valuable. This video here is going to further support the why financial education needs to be taught, and it gives you an idea of how to start teaching it. Riley of France, Riley of Morocco, they're my most proactive fans. One is investing already. One is researching and preparing to invest. Clemence, my muse, she's in school right now and therefore not engaged. Why is she my muse? Because if I can teach her and those like her, then we will be making progress. And that's the goal. This is one of the comments that I received. From an English perspective, I would give it 9 out of 10. I'll have to discuss this one last. You can see the length of it. This is the first comment that I received. It's brief, but powerful. It lacked context. I'm wrong. But there's no rationale. Imagine your teacher telling you you're wrong with no rationale. Imagine you telling your teacher, telling your boss. Since most of us are working, you tell your boss you're wrong, or your boss tells you you're wrong and he walks out the office. What do you think? You need to have rationale as to why you're right or why you're wrong. But it doesn't change the fact that it was a very powerful one. The dislikes that I have, it doesn't bother me. It actually helps. It shows the controversy. From the commenter saying that religion shouldn't be pushed in schools, I didn't provide him the context because of a limited amount of time. A 20-minute video. I didn't have time to talk about religion. I'm talking financial education. The religion is from a different perspective, a different video. It's in a different video. The reason why religion should be taught is critical thinking. That's my opinion. Financial literacy is the most important topic in existence for teaching, learning, critical thinking. It's more powerful than religion. It's more powerful than global warming, any of these. It is the most powerful one. You're going to use it all of your life, say 60 years of your life after you get out of school. So it is very powerful. You've already seen in the video 4%, 8%, and one of the commenters 6%. You also heard one of the financial advisors saying they don't promote 4%, they go lower. All of this tells you it is a very complex subject and it requires critical thinking. And so yes, religion does, and I didn't put it into there. You go to a doctor's office, you only have an allotted amount of time. You go to the lawyer, you're in a classroom. It's after the fact. So for the commenter, yes, I did not put the context into there for him to or her to voice their opinion of why religion should or should not be taught in schools. It's for critical thinking. That is the second most important topic that teaches it. Again, we don't. So I saw the comment as being positive. It was brief, but positive. It didn't provide anybody else any value because you don't know why I'm wrong in his opinion or her opinion. And that matters because it's just an opinion. If your boss says you're wrong and you don't know why, as far as you're concerned, it's an opinion. What's the difference? Critical thinking. Going, say, a step further with religion, we teach the Big Bang Theory. We teach evolution. Isn't that being pushed? Isn't that being forced? Why not religion? So religion should be taught without bias, just so that we get informed, so that we can make decisions, we can understand. You can't understand. We have religious wars. We have racism as well. Does anybody really understand this? So I do thank him for the comment, or her for the comment. This is another comment that I received. What do you think? It's a thought. It's a statement. This is not classified as an opinion. They truly believe Dave Ramsey is not a financial advisor. What do you think? That's the question. What do you think? Whatever you think really is going to make a huge difference on how you proceed towards wealth, etc. Because it shows why financial education should be taught in school. What do you think? What is the definition of a financial advisor? They could dislike Dave Ramsey. That would be an opinion. That's a feeling. And that's acceptable as well. You don't have to we don't like everybody, so that's fine. But it doesn't change the fact of what he's doing. He started off in real estate. Does that change anything? If you start off in engineering, if you start off as a teacher, does that mean you're going to do that for the rest of your life? No. People are changing careers all the time. Now, we're back to this lengthy comment. What do you think? Do you understand it? Do you understand what they wrote? I hope you really do read it and tell me your thoughts. You could stop the video and think of your thoughts. I'm going to provide my thoughts on what this comment is. Did I understand it? Yes. But I'm not a beginner. Beginners, they didn't understand it. Did I have to read it twice? I did. I had to read it twice to fully understand what it's saying. I thought it was confusing. Truthfully, because I was surprised. I thought it was confusing because of the way it was laid out, because it took a different approach than what I did. It took a different approach than Wade Vow, who was in the video. It was math and numbers. Now let's get to this. Just because I thought it was confusing doesn't mean it was bad. It was excellent. This comment showed simple math. In reality, it showed simple math. It gave the explanation, which is what you're going to do in school at times. You have to put your assumptions, etc. It was great. You can't fault this one from a material. So my question is, how long do you think it would take to talk about this particular comment? I would say 5 hours. 1 week in school. You take English for an hour, you take math for an hour. If you're taking financial education, this one has so much detail, so much information, so much material. It would take at least a week to discuss just this message. This message was similar to Dave Ramsey's message. It used simple math to prove or disprove, we'll say this. The message, the comment, it has flaws. But I don't have enough time. I said it's going to take 5 hours to discuss it. I don't have time. It's going to take me more videos to actually get into this particular comment, and it's ideal. It really is. It's well written. It's a common sales pitch. You go out to eat at times. If you're, say, in your 50s or 60s, I don't remember, 40s, you may be getting cards saying, come to this seminar, we'll teach you. And they provide you dinner. Is it a free dinner? It is free in terms of you don't have to pay for it, but is it free? What does free really mean? What did they tell you? This was a sales pitch type, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's right. Mathematically, it is correct. Just as correct as Dave Ramsey's. It provided more information, so Dave used a 12% and 4%. This one actually brought in inflation in a better aspect. It actually brought in the interest, average interest. So we have average. I haven't gotten into this. I'm going to be presenting videos on this. You can't imagine how great. And yes, if you want to say gamification, which could be another video, it goes up, it drops down, it goes up. So it looks like you're making a huge amount, 25% type on the average. I agree. Wow. That's part of the flaw that I'll have to discuss. It's true, but this is that thinking, that presentation, that teaching. This is why the teaching is not just so cut and dry like that. Sorry, but it's not. And I'm sure the writer knows this. The author of that, the commenter, knows it. And they know it's going to take more than an hour to truly get you to understand it. So it starts the critical thinking. Amance doesn't like math. She thinks finances are confusing. This comment added to it. I know it for a fact because I get a comment saying, yes, it's confusing. I told you myself, it took me twice to read it. In the video, the previous video, Wade Pfau discussed what was written without using math. You may not fully understand what Wade Pfau said, and this was a clarification. What I commented in the video was how I think Wade's approach for this particular concept, not the broad, but this concept was good. I want to maintain some consistency. That's the problem with financial education, is a lack of consistency. I want to maintain some, and I'll try to do that as best I can. So, what do you think is the main point that's not yet discussed, say, from the preceding in this comment? That's my question. If you say it's discussing the 25% average, I'd say you're close. This point was mentioned. To truly understand that 25%, and it's going to take at least one video, but to truly get it from this, even with the commenter right, that's at least 3 days worth of 3 hours of classwork that you're going to have. Imagine going to school for 12 years taking math, and this long or short type of comment has an abundance of information. That's what we have to remember. Now we have to process it. If you've ever had something like calculus, derivatives, you have to make sure you understand. Do you see the 6.3 calculation? What do you think? My first thought was, thank you. It shows the first commenter that I was actually right in my video. I was correct, not wrong, but correct. Contrary to their saying I was wrong. If you don't agree, that's okay. It doesn't much matter. But that's how it is actually written and stated and presented from the commenter's thing. My second thought was, this is higher than the 4% rule. My third thought was, it's more realistic than Dave's simplified example. Honestly, and although it was confusing information for a beginner or someone from another country, If we look at the real return equation, the math is as simple as Dave's. That one line is as simple as Dave's. And he could have used the numbers like Dave, say 9, 10% divided by inflation, etc. It would have been just as easy as Dave's. If Dave says that this comment supports his belief or his rationale that 4% is too low and that you can go with 4, that's not true. That's not true. Language and numbers. Language and numbers. Robert Kiyosaki said, you need to be literate in words and numbers if you want to be rich and maintain your wealth, which is why the words of the other commenters are just as important. Keep in mind, the commenter did not say you can withdraw 6.3%. He just did a calculation like Dave.
That's a simple average rate. It's not the growth rate.
This is important to know and understand. This is the reason why it will take a lot longer. It was a simple calculation to show the difference between Dave's super simplified and reality. As I said, this calculation is a lot more realistic. It is going to help you to live comfortably and maintain your wealth better than what Dave said. It doesn't mean that the value is right. We already know 6.3 is not accurate. Why? 8% is not a safe value to take out all the time, even with $1 million. 4% is not enough. 4% is not enough. So we know 6.3, which is in between, is not going to work either. The commenter was just trying to teach you, show you, educate you, which I am very happy for, of the 8% withdrawal number is not a good number. The point in the video, Dave's point, was that we want to not dissuade people from investing. That was part of his point. Granted, it was also, he had another point that you can do 8%, but if you use critical thinking, that does not apply to you or me because of the fact that we don't have, say, $100 million that we can take a loss. All 3 comments and the numerous dislikes were superb. I call them all 3 constructive feedback. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong, they were constructive. Now comes the fun stuff. It's my turn to practice what I preach. Financial literacy is multiple choice. Now the multiple choice is on me. I have a choice to quit because of the dislikes or to continue to try to help you. I choose to continue to help you. I hope you see that the comments show and prove without any doubt, 3 comments prove financial education needs to be taught in school from 1st grade through 12th. Is Dave a financial advisor? That's a very good question because whatever you think on that is going to affect how you see other people. Am I right or wrong? 4%, 6%. I appreciate it. I really do. We need financial education. 40 years, then you're going to retire. Then you have, say, another 20 years afterwards. 60 years of life. Maybe 1 year of financial education. Compared to 12 years of math, 12 years of English. There's a disconnect there as well. I'm here to help you. It will take time. If you know anything about languages, medicine is a language of its own, even in your native language. Legal, from going to see a lawyer, it's new. Finances, it's a language of its own. It's a new language. New vocabulary, new language.